hold down a position which falls now on the east side of the circle. A pretty definitive zone shift towards that southwest island. So a lot of teams going to be looking to move through there, but at the moment, Morph trying to hold off against Nacer.
Yeah. Morph and Nacer deadlocked right here. It's a full-out 4v4. I think I see all the players involved in on that mini-map on the top right. Morph does have a player on the off angle. It is spotted out. A headshot with the Uzi does a little bit of damage, just enough to deter him from doing a flanking off angle on the backside. Does almost get knocked, and I think he did get knocked. Star will get the first knock as other Morph members come in. A quick trade, a 1-for-1 right now.
Morph trying to hold it down. Boboho a little bit isolated, but as you say, there is a trade coming through there. This slows the fight down. This puts a little bit of a stopper on things, and Spec doesn't try and cut the cross, so allows the team to move across this road, allows them to get closer here, but Star has moved up, and they still haven't got control of this res. Now Rocky pushing in, has got backup as well. Morph still trying to hold down this wall line, allow themselves to strafe through it, but in hops Star. He's looking for this flush, he's looking to control. That's the cross control that they were looking for from Spec. He finds Cleon, and now Nacer down to 2. The flushes have come in, and it looks like Morph are really starting to flag, but Nacer have eaten a bullet or two in their time in this fight as well. It's not looking good for either of these two rosters.
Oh man, it's definitely looking better for Nacer though, as they brought it back. It was a 2v3 with a 4th potential revive, but Morph just dropped the ball completely, all down to Rocky, and he's only got that shotgun. He ran out of ammo and his other weapon, and Rocky goes down. That's a win for Nacer, but losing 2 immediately off the bat may not be the best feeling.
7th Element did in fact drop on that northwestern island on the mountaintop near Camp Alpha. And they have moved down to provide that crunch. In the meantime, looks like we got a little bit of a holdout on Hale, who have been suffering. They tried to move back down south after they were pushed away by 7th Element with that knock, with that flush. And Hale fleeing for their lives, and a lovely nade comes through from QX to find a knock, and almost the second as well. Tiger cowering behind the rock now as Junie with the oversight coming through. But not able to find a Tiger. Makes the break and gets across to cover.
Lines from not just 6 to 8, but other teams potentially looking their way now.
This is the congestion I was talking about around this ruins area on the northwestern island. These crosses are now mandated. You have to get across this river at this point. You have to figure out your path. Looks like Intense Game going to roll straight on up into the Lion's Den here, but maybe they've bitten off a little bit more than they could chew. Diego tried to send out wide, but the DPS is just not connecting here. Not for Intense either way, because Sunan is able to swivel on the spot and fool them in the face there. That is unideal, and Intense Game will be the casualty on that northwestern shore. But can 628 make this crossing? Bolton to hold on this east side as Becca falls now. Palucci looking to hold the fort, but with players and one of them on the knee, it's going to be real tough going. Unfortunately, you two Alliance, though, they've lost a player. And who's this? They're rocking up into the fight.
Oh, NB Esports with a great third-party timing. They hear all the commotion. They know they're not in the zone, and they do drive right up. Tiger, last player up for Hale. He's been in the shed for quite a while, and he's going to get taken down by Inko. Surely 1v4. He gets a knock, but that's about it. Inko slowly working their way in, keeping 4 up. They're going to have to drive straight in as that blue zone is right on top of them. And here's that early on. We saw it through the Americas and the league stage, but hopefully they'll turn things around. They have 4 up, which is good for them. Nanabete snaking up. Oh, wait, that was the last player from Inko?
Yeah.
Wow, we saw them as 4 just seconds ago, but this is Sandhawk after all. Taken down to just 1, and they're out.
Brazil where, man? What's going on? Both of our Brazilian teams getting taken out early with very little points gained. Inco 2 points. Intense Game 0. They went down pretty early on as well. I liked their rotation from that northwest island, playing up to that trifecta compound, but here it looks like they might really start to struggle. FaZe have got ahead of them, and getting around this headland is very, very tricky.
Yeah. I'm thinking 6 to 8. It looks like they're going to try and just not engage that fight. It doesn't give them much cover, you know, playing down at those rocks. There are sightlines that will spot them out. They have 4 up. I'm surprised they're giving up that fight. It is a difficult fight, though. Instead, they're going to try and sneak into Painon. And we have Nexuria right here. It is spotted. Nade in hand. That's going to be deadly if he could connect. He will back up for now. Maybe bait out some util from the side of STE before he returns.
Dokuma backing off the door frame. Looks like they feared the ordnance, but you've got that crossfire from Zeb Wolf. You've got Seventh Element as well across the way. This is exactly what you were talking about, right, ZJ?
Yeah.
You push
Yeah,
up, you just don't have cover.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try and engage a 4v4 against FaZe. FaZe is in a great spot, or not great spot on top of that hill, but a better spot than staying down on the riverside. And NB Esports playing this so well, starting from the hill, third party, and now sweeping down, catching the side of FaZe. Ben Torres, last one up, trying to get at least 1 point for the team. The DB can fourth. He does find a knock, and he gets the confirmation too. But I think, yep, that's as far as he will go. NB Esports will lose one player. Very unfortunate for them. Next, right in front of you, and that tree does cost them very dearly. Last player up, NB Esports. Can he snake it out? Maybe get some placement points. Top 8 is not much placement points whatsoever. As next Ruya now firing shots. Nades come in. NB Esports taken out.
It is so tough to approach Painan at this point. 3 teams have been locking it down for ages. Next Ruya on that northwest point, looking to try and hold out 6-8. Sunan is still going for 6-8, despite their open ground push that got them torn to pieces there. NI, but going down with no eliminations as well. And a lot of teams trying to make that push. Here comes Nigma Galaxy, and they have actually found a way into Painan on the south
of Nigma Galaxy off just that knock alone. So even though no confirmation, that knock was huge. It might have given them positional power to win this match if they can make it across the spray of next Ruya. One of their players will go down.
That's what I was talking about, those crossfires through the streets. It's so hard to move south, and now we have no teams with all 4 players alive, except for Nigma Galaxy, who have been just slowly marching forwards. This is great stuff from this roster, from this team. Starting out well. Dimkan with the angle down the alleyway, but he's got a wall right next to him. Can't really do much than just try and fade away from this one as they try and cross the river. They need to get across, but the time is running out. Next Ruya still on this crossfire as they continue their pressure from that north side as Dagsan clash in the streets of Painan, and nobody is looking good. Nobody's looking hot for it. The nades pour through, so many knocks on this southwest side, and it is curtains for Dagsan, who have held out so long, and Ralph not long for it either.
Yeah, Nigma Galaxy does manage that 3rd place position though, so that was good for them. That's the best they could hope for, because neither of those teams are making it across this river. Not with Nongshim and next Ruya looking dead at them. Now it's down to the final 2 teams. A 3v4 scenario. Nongshim with the man advantage. Center zone does fall in favor of Nongshim as well, because there is no more circles here, but they have clear visions right down the middle. Next Ruya definitely with their backs up against the wall.
The circle finishes inside of that warehouse, out to the east, out to the right-hand side of Tizzy as you look at it. So it's a lot of open ground here. That wall might come into play quite importantly. How many nades do they have left? That Molotov from Tizzy could be pivotal. If he launches it through now, may be able to use it a little bit later to control more space, but might not have that opportunity. Might be taken away from him next Ruya.
Oh,
powerful, but in goes the Molotov. That is brilliant to find the burn onto Dokuma. Gonna fall to it, so another man up in the advantage now for Nongshim Red Force as Tizzy holds the wall. Playing back and forth. Can they step out? Can next Ruya pull it back together? They got 4 players to handle. Tizzy doesn't manage to land the first shot. Blazo will find that first flush, but Frozen is there. They cut them down. It is Nongshim to be able to take home this first chicken dinner. It was the burnout, the bleed out for next Ruya. And what a way to kick things off here for Group Red. The Painan finish over on that north side. In the end, having to try and punch through Nigma Galaxy, and that was just a hurdle too far with that third-party off angle. Speaking of the off angle there, Morph able to find Dokuma pretty cleanly here for next Ruya. That is going to be real tricky. This is on the southeast side, near that Milta area, between the Milta Power.
That top of Ruins and Mount Everest getting slightly contested here between FaZe and 628.
Yeah, on the western side of this circle, it still is in action. So definitely a valuable position for the time being. FaZe wanted to hold it down. Onzen under threat as Shin crests that ridgeline with the Bison in hand, able to rattle off the right shots there. Ventora's trying to hold face with the DBS, but he eats too much damage for his liking, goes for the flush instead of the challenge, and now it's all up to the backline coming on through from FaZe. Mela needs to stand up for the roster in a 1 versus 2, I believe, on this position, versus Sunan, versus 33Z as well. The nade forwards, and Mela brought very, very low. Looking to move in with that auto shotgun. 33Z with the UMP close range. Wants to get the challenge spot to Helmet. Goes for the spray and the heal is through for Mela. And he's able to cut one down. Sunan launching the nade to the back line. And the spray is good. He takes FaZe out, and STE will stay alive on the top of Everest, but only as 3. It looks like they're going to try and divert quite far out. We're still in stage 3, so you can survive quite well in the blue, but what's this? Clear power rocking up on Inko. Squash with the challenge. Agori goes down first. Now Becca with the shots, with the spray. The DBS is there as well. To try and put the final nail in the coffin, and Inko are getting their dome rattle once again. They are giving us what they get with 2 knocks sent back to give you power, but they are losing players they won't be happy with. In through the window, but Vitar too quick for that. Nenobete needs to get rest here if Inko want a chance to move forward. Like power needs to be dealt with swiftly. To find the shot with Becca, but that is disastrous to lose so much. And there's a third party, STE descent from on high.
Teams could hold things zone.
Spray down around the side there. Tiger looking to stay alive against Morph, but the DPS is good for the first. There's a couple more Morph players waiting in the wings. We're in stage 3 into stage 4, which means you can still get these reses, Zute. He'll be able to pick up his teammate, but getting through from here is still a very order. Similar situation. Morph. Boho is going to get that res pickup as well.
I don't think the teammates are going to go for it. The blue zone is starting to chunk right there. If anything, they're going to confirm the point. They get the point. Tiger is still up. That nade not doing enough damage. He has meds, and there is the finish. More full.
This game right up and in Hyper's face.
Low toss Molly coming out from GK first. A nice connection does take for a lot of burn damage. Come out into open. He gets one, though. Gets knocked right back. So 1-for-1. The util come first. Finally does go down. Koi, he's going to have to do a double knock at the very least. He goes for 1. Tries to get the second. Gets knocked. And Hyper down to just 1. But this area open sightlines to the high ground. And they worry about that as well.
Inko in the meantime starts to move forwards towards Duxan's west position that they regrouped on towards. And Hyper with Shifan looking to put in the performance to the roster strong. Lead from the front and a lovely challenge over the top of the ridgeline. Shifan keeps it together and he's looking for the reses as well. Cielo not close enough to res. Diego most likely bleeding out here. And Hyper, are they going to get all 4 of themselves back up to 8? May have other ideas. Yellow.
Oh, that looks good.
Is it on target? Is he going to find the shots? It just bubbles short, but it gets a lot.
Oh! It took down all the players that were not rezzed, and the one that was rezzed gets knocks Yellow with the nades, ending chances of Hyper to get that full reset. And right on cue, a third party once again by STE. They're looking everywhere for these third parties. STE could be sitting comfortably in zone at a strong compound, but they want the points. I like the aggression, but can he get the finish? That looks scary, and he does almost go down. I think zone. Well, that is a huge loss for STE.
Long Shim Red. Full time, having a little bit tougher of a time with it against NB Esports. Said why over the top. Gets a good spray with the Tommy gun. Finds his second knock, but is put. They can go for the goes pretty long and right on target as well. Wide brought almost to the bleed out fully. Another nade might just do it, but it goes a little bit long. However, it's not a. You just can't get back into position as Freak rolls up into this fight. NB are getting cut to pieces. They leave their compound sanctuary.
Beautiful.
And they move on out for a third party, cleaning out. Looks like you got Duxan taking on that fight, playing as 3 for Duxan to play on that western side. But I like Inko's position here. They're a lot further down the hill. They're on that low ground position. But I feel like they've got a lot of control over this fight as long as they don't get spotted from across the way.
Yeah, Inko with a beautiful rotation to that spot too. They cut ahead of Nasser, and I believe it was Duxan, right? Behind the tree does need to survive because there is very low chances of anyone getting rezzed on the Inko side if you get knocked now.
Heavy smoke cover needed. QX, I mean, being suppressed a little bit by Becker's position. He's probably more wary of it now. Nenebete hesitant to go for Vitali to get that res for the time being. Enigma Galaxy rocking right on up to Nextruya. Not a pause to be seen. A nade in response, but that's not going to do much when you're already dead from beyond the grave. Not much of an impact to be had. Becker spotted. And this is Duxan opening up the bidding over to Becker. That's what was keeping their position together. And now it's just the res needed to come through from Nenebete. Can he keep his team together? Great position to do so as well. They have led the charge, in fact. Ralph moving forwards. Duxan eats a bullet or two from Nenebete. There's a nade in response over to Vitali. QX on the floor will be able to get that spray down, with the rest of the team not looking so healthy right now.
Enigma Galaxy just biding their time right now. Teams are going down left and right. Enigma Galaxy still stay alive with 3. It comes down to 7th Element, and Enigma Galaxy and the likes of Duxan down to 2. Junie will get confirmed here. And I was just going to say, the manpower advantage Enigma Galaxy, but they lose a big one. Ralph in the front lines does get knocked. Gets the information, though, of where these players are. And Coops maybe can land a nade. That is quite a far distance throw. Almost.
The second to follow it up goes a little bit down the hill. A third nade. Everything's bouncing. It's taking damage. It's forcing him out of cover. There's another one to go for. And Coops, he just sat through that. That was a really ballsy play coming through. Being able to hold behind that tree somehow doesn't get tagged up by that nade. 3 more still, and Ralph gets flushed away. Enigma Galaxy not in the circle, but then again, nobody else is either. That's what you need. Coops finally hits the mark.
Coops threw at least 5 nades that way. He's still got 2 more to play with. Coops with 4 eliminations, however, so definitely want to hand him that util because he's making work of it. Now it's down to a 2v2v1 circle, favoring more the side of Duxan, and they've got trees to play with. Enigma Galaxy not in the zone, and I think they will have to cross over a little bit into the open. Coops goes for a nade, will not find the last player of 7th Element.
24 OP, crawling his way, elbows in the dirt, wanting survival. Wanting to live this one out, but will be denied that opportunity. Now 2 versus 2. Duxan versus Enigma Galaxy. We've had this lobby in a chokehold for a while, and Lord, he gets into an open position, but
nice trade.
Has the response. So important for Coops to be able to find that. It was all over if he didn't. Takes a little bit of damage, but it's both ways, and both of them stop immediately to heal.
The 1v1. I didn't think we'd see it so early into the tournament this week, but we will have a 1v1 wide open crossing for both players. Coops smartly has a wherewithal to confirm the point while in safety. Every point matters here, so he will take the patience to do that. But Blue Zone is closing in, John. Who's going to win this 1v1?
Coops right now has 2 first aids. QX doesn't have any. These trades do go the way of Coops if he's able to just get 1 or 2 tags on, but he steps out wide. He's hard beating the challenge. He's daring QX to step for it, and he's getting the winning shots in through as well. QX is winning out this trade for the time being, but can it be an answer? Coops eats 1 more, swaps out to the Bison. So low. QX hiding behind the tree. Coops, can he find cover? Can he make it to this next tree? If he can get this first aid off, he has a massive advantage. But QX cuts him down just in the nick of time, and it will go their way. What a way to close it down. A deserving celebration coming through as Duxan find the chicken dinner they were denied over in Painan. Close by positions, and it's going to be Akaze to find the first and knock, and the flush looks for more. NB hop out, but they're already shredded to pieces. 2 players already down, 1 low HP. He looks for the flush. What a thirst coming on through, and he controls this. 1 versus 4, but no, he's finally shut out. But in comes the cavalry. The roll down is there, and NB dispatch of the enemy rolling on up to them. Intense game 4, and what a hold from NB.
To the water. Yeah, you do not want to be fighting on land, but this spot's already occupied by Nasser.
There is far too much to be going on healthily here. Nextruya might have just put themselves in the losing spot on this scenario. Already the rocks controlled. A nade over the top from Xenox, that's pretty cruel. But hang on a minute, Nasa, they're
Oh,
taking
Coops.
damage. There's Coops coming on through. Is this a bit of cover for next Ruya? Can they find landfall? These nades from Xenox going a little bit behind the progression. They might find Yekta. Sure, they get that flush, but the rest of next Ruya can start to emerge. And Nasa now are struggling on this northern side. I don't think I would have predicted this, but what a turn of events. It looks like next Ruya might just be able to hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, next Ruya definitely getting a lucky break there. The knock from Nigma Galaxy helping them out a lot. Now on the western side, Kanina Power trying to do the same thing. The river play. And here comes Morph coming in the distance while this fight between Nasser and Nextria is still continuing. So Nextria have 3 up. I do believe Nasser is down to just 1, and it's Xenox. Xenox gets a nice knock, though, on the other side of things. Gets the confirmation, almost goes down to the nade. Bounce back up on the leaderboards. They just need to make sure they don't lose any players here. They're heading into Inko. Inko down to 2. Good nade from Becker. Will it connect? Throws it. Falls just short.
Splits the middle there between the N-Hyper players. Next Ruya, remember they've been under this bridge for a while, and all of them are out of the zone. Inko guarding them through. In the meantime, Duxan, all 4 of their players alive in the crates of South George. Wanting to get the reses over onto Binny, keep all 4 of them alive. No eliminations so far, but FaZe are right next to them. 6 to 8 make a mad dash in front of them, trying to strafe through this open ground, but 3310 is left in the dust. He's knocked on the back lines, and Vittorius nearly finds another. Not quite going to be able to do so, and it still seems like Duxan going to continue to be pressed against this blue zone.
3 teams now at the crates. STE, great rotation. They did lose one, like you mentioned. 33Z left in the backlines, knocked. He was in the zone too. If he just stayed alive, that would have been a crucial position for them. But the battle rages on. 3-way fight, FaZe, Duxan, and STE. Is STE going to pressure them from the north side? They could third party this as FaZe is in a full out engagement.
STE definitely has to make that rotate with 3 players. Can they hold this one down? FaZe, Duxan back and forth now. 2 players on the sideline, and Zipyan tears through them with the DBS. FaZe fall.
The whole entire lobby has to team up against Nigma Galaxy at this point to really crack that fortress open. Yeah, you can see STE running out in the open. They're out of smokes. They make it to the ridgeline with 2. They can get that reset with 3, but there is a nade coming out for the 7th element. I think that's going to hit them here. Shing picks up a knock. Where did that nade go? I think it flew too far. They're going to get that reset. 7th element really needs to land this one. Alian, nade primed, in hand, throws it over. I don't think that's going to connect. It might be close, and it didn't.
A little bit of damage.
That one did, though.
Much better from Sunar. Now has to go a little bit deeper over onto Alian's position, but Divine steps out of the water. Alian falls, and it is just Divine left. Shing is still alive, looking for that heal.
Wow.
And 6 to 8 have made this crossing, but can they hold on to it? Divine falls as well. It is 6 to 8 to keep going.
Over the bridge top.
Hang on a minute, no, Divine's been swimming all the way through, and Binny's here to play. 4 Duxan will finally fall to Coops from Nigma Galaxy with the high ground. We knew they were going to be so brutal here, and it is Duxan to fall first. Keep that pressure on, though, along this coastline. The nade doesn't quite connect. Divine has one of his own. Thinks that the rock are more dangerous, but another nade from Sunan looks pretty good, and that will close the bidding. Shing able to find that final nade. Now, can N-Hyper keep this roll going along this coastline, add it up a little bit further, because it is only a couple of players left from 6 to 8, as now Nigma Galaxy look to extend their influence. But with 10 eliminations, N-Hyper have done a lot of work so far.
Oh, one of N-Hyper goes down here. The 2v3, another player goes down. SDE looking to win this 2v3. GK first taking a lot of damage through the smoke, and, well, Nigma Galaxy is here to clean things up. They identified the weak side. N-Hyper goes out. Now it's a 2v4 situation. Surely, not N-Hyper, Nigma Galaxy takes this one. One of them goes down, though, John. So I'm going to hold that for now.
They might have been looking to get a little bit of a resupply on some of these bodies here, but Coops looking for that res. Shing actually takes away a lot of that utility. The bird is there, still a vehicle. They give Coops up as well, and they are just going to let that one lie. Ralph crashing back to the compound. I mean, they know they have the walls as cover. I feel like they probably could have committed for the res there and brought Coops back into the fold, but it's just not quite going to work for them this time around. They don't pick him back up in a 3 versus 2.
Yeah, that res would have been very risky. We saw Shing just pick up 4 nades, a couple of mollies. If the res continued there, it would have been another player down. Koops is going to crawl all the way back. Is he going to make it? I don't even think it really matters, though, because this next zone is going to go to nothing, and the center is right on top of the compound. So SDE will have to push in the wide open, and Koops is even going to get revived potentially.
Koops
I think he is.
Looking to get through on the smoke train. Ralph dashes out. I said they needed to pick him up before, and they are just going to try and keep that one going. And Koops will be picked up indeed. The smokes give them the cover that they needed. Now 6-8 with it all to go for, with 2 players alive. 8 eliminations so far. I said this was potentially a team that could make it all the way. I didn't really expect to be close to right here, but either way, they make it this far. But with only 2 players standing, in the face of 4, in the face of the utility that it looks like Enigma Galaxy are likely to still have in the back pocket. They have been expending a lot of nades. They haven't been using a lot of smokes. They've just been holding these sightlines. And they can look to just shut this one down. Koops swings out, looks to go wide. Ralph crossing the road as well. They're putting the pressure on. They're not letting this come to them. They are taking this into their own hands. A break wide, and Koops is still forwards, rolls down for 1, swings out, hops out the buggy, doesn't find the second, but there's the backup from Ralph. And a clean finish from Enigma Galaxy on their compound position. They're able to capitalize, and a great finish coming through from this roster. A really, really solid finish coming on through. They were gifted with the circle time and time again, but I like that flex out coming through. I like that position that they were able to take. Excellent first aid coming through from Adrian, and damage back to Mela.
Yeah, they really want to get this first opening, and this might be it. Ventorez with the nade, and it bounces right onto Adrian.
Very close by, but there's that flush coming on through. Adrian gives up the ghost there. And again, it's going to be a player down. A couple of teams losing a player. Duxan down to 3, NB losing 1. Power maybe just about to lose a little bit more than that, or maybe it will go to Morph. They are quite split right now. Look at Rocky on the off angle there. Manages to get to cover. Can Boboho hold off on this push? Going very, very low. And Becca wins out the challenge. A nice start for Kanina Power. The backline that may be looking to try and third party onto them. Also having attention turned out its way. Gonna have to readjust that angle. In the meantime, Enigma Galaxy and NB are gonna clash, but it seems like Ralph and Koops will be sentinels on this south side for them. Mondo now the last to stand, and in the face of Lord, will he be able to triumph? It's looking pretty hairy, and it will be shaved away as well. That is NB falling, and a clean engagement from Enigma Galaxy. As you see in the picture, there's still scraps going over. This is Nasa and Inko. In the meantime, Flash getting torn apart. Is that Hyper cleaning out Hale? I think it might be. And this is the scrap I was talking about before. Inko needing to keep themselves alive. Nenebeti and Vitali down on the outside. Nasa looking for that challenge. 2 players alive. They move onto the inn and will look for the reses now to try and keep themselves nice and healthy, but a lovely spray down from Xenox to get the high ground position, wrestle it away from Inko, spots the drop, but a lovely nade through the window, finds 1 and the flush as well, and Becca on the warpath, back in response, Spec hopping, jumping, trying to survive. We saw him hop a buggy earlier in the match, but now it's bullets flying his way, and they're a little bit tougher to control. A Spec keeps it together for Nasa for the time being.
What a nade by the side of Becker. Becker dropped down with the nade and flew it right in. Goes aggressive, goes for the push, gets confirmation points. Xenox forced to back off, but the blue zone is closing in on both. Becker, is he going to try and disengage this? Spec will have clear lines of sight on him if he just drives away here. This surely has to be a fight to the death for both of these teams, and they do realize it. Spec will confirm a point. Becker on the push, DBS in hand. Who's going to win out this one?
He's waiting. He doesn't have any first aids left, though, and in stage 4, closing in on stage 5, you are going to have to force this fight. Becca looking for first aids as well, I think. He's going to have to enact that heal. Bandages only for Spec. Is it a heal off coming on through? I'm not entirely sure this is worth it for either of these 2 players, but Spec gives it up. Down right on top of Becca. Can he get out of there? Can he get into the buggy and get through? He's looking for first aids, and 3 of them are found. Does he have time? Will it take? There's no stims. It's close. It's down to the wire, but I think he just about has it. Just about managing to tag it back up, but it's stage 4. Next Ruya on the out of this, though, might have a say in this engagement as they push him from the west.
Nongshim Red Force fighting with 7th Element here. It's a 4v4 fight. It's a brawl. Back and forth. Divine goes down. Nongshim Red Force looking like they are definitely coming out on top. Still 4 players up. 7th Element. Where did they go? They're down to just 1 player, and he is forced to drive off and just find whatever he can in the zone. And looking at the minimap feed, there's actually quite a lot of open terrain in the zone, unoccupied. But the sightlines, the angles, they have
here. If they can control Nongshim Red Force on this eastern side, they might have a better time. Nongshim losing a player. Allian steps out into the buggy. He's just going to
he's going to run.
He's just going to get out of there. Try and survive for as long as possible. I mean, you know that you're not going to win a strap against that many players. Get spun out by the tire, and there's the down shot. You're not going to win against that either. So I think realistically, maybe you could have just gone for a little bit of a scrap, tried to get a flush.
Out that last straggler. Here comes Nextruya with 4, and over the top, Morph with 2 is going to cause a lot of damage onto that team. And you said, what is Udo Alliance going to be able to do? They're getting knocked right now from the side of STE.
Trying to hold themselves together from the top rope. It's Rocky. Looking for the best. Yoru has his back as well. Morph playing as 2. They've been as 2 for quite a while, but they're up to 9 eliminations. And they are putting on a workshop on the north side. Unfortunately, they have been spotted. Nongshim been doing a lot of work themselves, be able to spot it. Dokkanma still moves up into a position to potentially handle Rocky as Dokkanma gets lit up, gets sideswiped, but finally Yekta handles it. Can Dokkanma get picked up? Can he get through to this plateau before Udo are able to crest this ridgeline and get control of this sightline? A lovely long nade from Olio, but it's deep into the blue, and it's not going to find what they're looking for.
Udo Alliance, this is their chance. They have Nextruya back up against the wall, but Nongshim Red Force from distance still causing damage to every single team.
As you know they're going to do, a little bit of a lack of effectiveness here from Udo Alliance, but I'm glad to see Nextruya starting to stand up. They knew that they had to move forwards, take that fight with the solo player.
Oh, here it comes.
They need to cover for the ridgeline. A light up from the side. Olio needs to find value here. Udo might just be able to get the value that they've been seeking all along. 3 knocks for them, and they will be able to bring them down to 1. That is exactly what they needed to happen, and it could not have come at a closer time to the death bell.
Yeah, Nextruya did the best they can. That was a very disadvantaged fight, and they're still in the match. I think he could maybe snake into the zone on the north side and still be in cover. Nongshim Red Force down to 2, almost down to just 1. 1 HP for XZY. Can he get that first aid off? It looks like he can. STE starting to spring into action, getting the angles, and it looks like they're going to take that high ground away potentially from the side of Nongshim Red Force. This Red Force, I think, is really going to determine which team gets the advantage here. And yep, just as I say that, Nongshim Red Force will find a pivotal knock onto the side of Udo Alliance.
They're going to slow that one down. Going to be forced to lose that as well with the blue zone crushing in. Udo Alliance can't afford the time nor the damage from the blue zone to go for that res. But there's an answer coming through from Udo Alliance. Flax able to spin 1 and XZY full second. STE now in a full 4 versus 4, although the knock did go through and it's most likely going to be confirmed. They actually commit for the res here for Udo Alliance. They really need all the players they can get, to be fair.
Both teams in the circle. 2 of the players, though, not in the circle for Udo Alliance. The one getting that res. Will they have cover moving in just so slightly? I don't think so. They might lose both of those players. Yeah, you called it out. You're surprised they went for the res, and this is exactly why. They get the res off, but it is still death for them trying to move into the zone, and STE knows this. It's going to come down to a 4v2, it seems like.
Committing for things and not getting the maximum value out of them seems to be the story from Udo Alliance this match, but still, they are into the final 2, despite getting knocked down quite a bunch. They have had quite the run here. Getting a second place still really quite a strong result if they're able to stay alive, maybe get a point or 2 more. STE being relatively quiet, just being such a menacing presence as they swung around through the south side, but now they're going to start to gnash their teeth just that little bit louder. 5 eliminations, 6 eliminations. They are chewing it up here as Udo Alliance are down to 2.
Down to 2. Center zone in the middle of both teams, and just like that, STE will get cover. Pushing right up. They have control of the center of the zone now. Udo Alliance really backed up into the corner. They get a knock onto Hero. That's good. Will the nade come in for Shing? Looking for it. 3v2 now. He really needs to hit this one and does not connect.
Doesn't catch it on the reposition. The high ground pick onto Hero is actually really important. It gives them an opening, but it's still so unlikely. You step out like that, you're going to get chewed up, and that will be the spit out as well. No utility left for U2 Alliance. STE had it all the way under their control. Discipline coming through from this roster, and you love to see it. A great set of players coming through, and a deserving chicken dinner for STE. What? Adrian, you madman. Oh, go on. Do it again. Give us some more. No, he's not going to take the shot. He's going to wait. He's got to wait for the res. And look for
He doesn't have the angle.
He's waiting for them to peek. There's a Winchester in hand for both of these two players. It's the Wild West out here.
Oh, he's like, get in the vehicle, man. This guy's got some nasty aim. Doesn't even give him chance to finish that first aid off. Taking more shots. Can he hit it? Oh, what a shot.
Around the mountains that border the north side of this circle. Oh, QX out in the open a little bit there.
Wow.
Tag. There's a headshot, but Hero doesn't quite find the last shot. Just about getting away for QX. But now Zipian has a challenge to cross this open ground. QX up towards the north.
Oh,
and
they got the
flush as
confirmation.
well. They get the flush, and that's going to force Intense Game to try and look for a crash. It kind of, I think, baits them into making a move that just isn't favorable. They aren't going to be able to make this one work. They might extract a value, a point or two, but in the long run, they just aren't going to get too much value here. Trying to push into Chumacera. You've now also got FaZe on the backstop, and SDE have sort of forced this fight to happen in this way, just from playing on this position. Maybe not actively, but certainly just their presence there has sent these teams into the blender with one another. A lot of damage from a nade, but doesn't quite find the knock here. Magrelin is going to try and fall back just a little bit. Quite a lot of damage done to this Duxan position, which is really important for these teams on the north, because Duxan was a major factor.
Yeah, Duxan playing very split up here. Very slow to group up to get that revive. The DBS is good. This is two different teams they're fighting. As Nassar come in and chime here with a point. And yeah, Duxan just way too split up. Hard compounds.
Torres steps up for a spray. Binny back on inside. And there's the DPS popping up. Zipian able to find a crucial knock to keep three of them alive. But they do not have a lot of time to play with here. Now 628 have established that perimeter. Ting on the high ground soon and flanks down to the west, cutting off their escape route here. But there's three players. They pick a direction, they go all as one. Very easy to find a pick over towards STE. But if you give Sunan the opportunity, he's going to take the shots. But Zipian is still on the swivel. It really heads up play. And Zipian is so important for this hold, for this survival, coming through for Duxan. And it looks like 7th Element instead going to turn their attention to NB, and right up to Sek goes, but looks for the spray, won't even find any damage in response. He was more preoccupied with the backline, and Sek holds it out. 7th Element, they are losing players. They are down to one, and it's going to be very unlikely that Divine can get much further here. There is no respite. There is no sanctuary out in the open. The barren grounds of Miramar will be his final resting place for this match. NB, they're going to close it down, and in similar fashion, next through you're eliminated.
Get the points. Here's Inko coming in with 4 now. This is a team we want to watch out for. In Hyper up to 7 eliminations already, by the way.
And they have regrouped. They're Betty down first. A lovely place nade. Spray over the top to follow it up with the UMP, but it's challenged. It's backed off. Can they find the trade? Yes, they can. Squash is also down. 2 players down for either side now, as both Koi and FS both falling on the front lines. Becker holding his own, and the back line's taken out as well. GK first leads Shifan high and dry. 2 players for Inko to deal with, and it is the heal looking to come through. Shifan launching utility forwards, looking to slow Inko down. The res crawls towards for the knocked player of Inko. It looks like Hyper want to bring 2 back into the fold as well. Both of these two teams taking care of one another. Leaving these hills was never really an option without going for this fight first. The shift is all the way up north. And Enigma Galaxy, are they going to be able to get it again? I'm not sure. But take a look at this, because Inko have just removed Hyper from the fray. Just a little bit. Duxan gets the nade over onto Coops. I mean, they had the door side available to them. There's no way you can't put that nade through, really. as they close on in, looking to jump in through the window. That's the first knock. That's the first flush. And they want more as they push in, but Zipian's cut through. It's Lord to stay alive for Enigma Galaxy. The challenge of one, knows there's a reposition, doesn't have any nades, has a Molotov to jump. Binny, he's showing exactly where he is. Both of them know exactly what the other one is doing, exactly what the other one is thinking. But Lord is biding his time. No nade in front, Binny. Scare shots, but nothing more than that. Doesn't have a nade of his own either. Maybe looking to loot his teammate. Maybe blast the door off its hinges, but he's backed off the angle. He's going for it, and Binny's fouled. Lord able to hold it down for Enigma Galaxy to go even deeper into this match. 5 eliminations from what we thought was a match in tatters for this roster. Now, the time to descend has come through from Nongshim Red Force.
Dogson with that 2v1 definitely messed it up, doing a fragmented push. Lord now in another 1v1. Tiger here giving Lord a challenge, and Lord just playing on points, winning 3 1v1s in a row, and Nongshim Red Force fighting with Morph. I was saying Morph could win this match if they can take this fight. One of them does go down. Nongshim Red Force down to just 2 players. They're taking out. Morph wins the fight on the east side, but who's still up? We have 3 color. Mormon is still alive, John, and he could potentially ruin things for Lord. Lord on a tear though. 1v3 scenario? Yes. Can Lord pull off a miracle here?
7 eliminations right now for Enigma Galaxy. 3 more needed. A 10 elimination chicken dinner, but it is such a tall order. Although, look at the util for more. They are really bare right now. They are going to have to push up and maybe take this challenge fairly clean. As Cleon cooks that nade, the one and only in the back pocket. He steps up, takes damage. Close range as well, but the Grows are sure, but can you win out the challenge? 1 first aid still in Lord's back pocket. The side angle for Cleon. He's taking the challenge. He might have overexposed, but there's the push, and he's on the swivel. Lord is still on for more, but he's so low on HP. He steps out for the challenge, and it is just too much. It was close, and Lord fought for all he was worth, but in the end, it was Morph to be able to cross through, to crunch hail against the side of the compound and force their way on through. Down through the mountains they go, and a chicken dinner for Morph. To get away.
Nope.
Take that back, because Koi's here.
There's the good old bait and switch. He's like, oh, they're going to let me live. Nope. Koi's there with the SK. Last game did work out pretty well for them. Inko right next to another team. Nenebete stopping here, definitely hearing the enemy player, so he wants to take this early fight. And they think they have the numbers advantage, but FaZe is right, answering them right back. Now in a 3v2 situation, forcing Inko to kind of slow down their roll just a little bit. Where is Inko here? Inko has 2 here. Where's the other 2? I think they're too far away right now. And FaZe is definitely getting the numbers advantage and the angle advantage now.
Yeah, you saw in the backline, Mormon looking to reposition there on the high ground off angle, and Becca going to eat the bullets, eat the damage for it, has to force himself in, but Nenebete is there. He's tearing through them with a pump.
2!
Finds 1, finds 2. He's doing the devil's work on the inside right now because FaZe are falling apart. Just the 1 player left, and he turns the corner. It's a 3rd for Nenebete on the pump action. Incredible hold on the inside. He doesn't need armor. He doesn't need a helmet. He's got the chunk through and through. The rest of the cavalry arrive, and Vitali puts it to sleep. FaZe fall flat.
Have been taking damage not from each other, but from third parties in the distance. So Diego trying, what an angle to hold, and both shots going back and forth, and Cielo will go down. Not to Zipian though, it was actually next Rio that picked up that point. And both players, will meet the demise.
Now, Kanina Power have been surviving through this with the 2 eliminations that they were able to find. They are going to bide their time a little bit longer. Transitioning to the compound, they have to push further north now though, and they'll meet a roadblock. All those teams agglomerated on the south side of Impala. Sunan lighting up the hills with the M249. A lot of damage sent towards STE though. The 7th element are down to 2, but the nades are ringing true, and 33Z now under threat to this angle. Only the 1 knock sent back their way. It's Hero by the ramp, and the rest of the team, they're just going to fall together.
And Hyper.
They know they need to come through, and Hyper have broken from their sanctuary. They've moved out from their stronghold. We've implemented this sort of play before. Are they going to find effect here?
Let's see it. This is a great spot for Hyper because STE condensed way too hard. I'm not sure why they sent all 4 players to one spot to deal with 1 player of 7th Element. This gave up all control on the roadside, giving a huge opportunity for Hyper to third party this, which they are. But Hyper, they haven't found an opening just yet. And Hyper, they usually take things slow, and this third party definitely is a little bit more on the slow, methodical side. They're gatekeeping them out of the zone, however, and that's exactly what Hyper wants to do. Still 4 up for STE, and they actually get a knock onto Hyper. This is, I feel like, the biggest pitfall out of Hyper. They're just not aggressive enough as a team. They recognize these opportunities, but the execution is rare. Next, we are definitely in a better defilade. Not eating the shots that STE is. STE down to just 33Z. 1 player alive left for
More value for Frozen staying with the rest of the team here.
I mean, Frozen went down for a revive on a knocked teammate, but your question still stands. Why was that teammate down there in the first place? They will lose that player. Here comes the finish. Inko does finally go out. Morph just holding down this fortress right now. And that is nade range of Kanina Power, if they should throw some nades there. So that might come into play later on, because Morph pretty much dealt with everyone here. We have 2 of Nongshim and 3 of Hale on the northern side.
I don't think they necessarily want to expend it here either. Coming on through, they get a knock somewhere else. I'm not entirely sure who they were able to find there, but Palucci rolls forwards but gets cut down. Zebwolf was there for the response. They found Yekta on the backline, and now Becca is suffering, and it's just coming apart at the seams here for Kanina Power. It looked like they had a chance, but who's this? It's a third party.
Oh, Hale!
To bite back. Kanina Power eliminated, and Hale have split south to the west side of the road. They've got a lot of utility in the back pocket. Waffle rolling through. Everybody wants the third party here, but we're down to just the 3 teams. Somehow, Nongshim is still alive as well, and they're looking for 2 players to move on through.
Wow, Nongshim third party, the more third partying the other team, and Nongshim find an opening. And Zone, this is stage 9, it's going down to the middle. It's a 3-way fight. It could go either way with the team's positioning. Hale loses 1. Morph down to the 3 players, 3v2v2. Morph looking to confirm that point. They still got more players to contend with. Slow and Cleon. Cleon on a nice angle, takes some shots. No knocks, he's in the open. Ooh. Cleon will go down.
Where was the challenge from those 2 down the hill? They do get that knock answer, but they're still 2 further up that they're going to have to deal with. Hale have gone down all the way to Flash. Morph, maybe looking for the res.
Oh!
XZY absolutely on the swivel. The close position from Cleon. It's spotted around the side of the road. They might want the flush, but the ridgeline is under control. This is a brilliant spot for Nongshim.
Vehicle coming into play. Nice hard cover setup there. Will the blue zone push out more first? I believe so. Nongshim playing slow and quiet might actually win this match, and they're forced into open. Shots raining out here. Taking shots left and right. They cut down 1. It's all down to Boboho. Boboho not able to even find a single knock there. And Nongshim Red Force. I counted them out, seeing 4 players of Morph up in the city, but with the way things played out, everyone's springing into third-party action. Nongshim come out ahead.
They managed to bookend the day with chicken dinners. They won Sandhawk. They're able to take it down on the second Miramar, the last match of the day. A really, really clean finish out coming on through.